Welcome back to another episode of Everyday Integrity. I'm your host, Dawn Vitale.
And I'm Margie Bowling. Let's get started. All right, what week are we on now, Dawn? We are cruising through 2025, almost made it to February. We've got a quote of the day for you that we want to share. Yeah, right.
Wow. Wow.
um, yeah. We'll take it slow. We'll take it slow here. Quote of the day we want to talk about that's have an attitude of gratitude. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's been times I've heard somebody say that to me, and I wanted to like strangle them, like not now. But what it really reflects is that sometimes gratitude can be all you have, and it's a necessary tool at times to pull it out. You can be caught up in the chaos of things happening in the world. Dawn, have you ever had a day where you woke up and everything just continued to go wrong and you just thought, you know, everything is the wrong time and nothing is happening right? And then you just get in this attitude that's not of gratitude. But what would happen? Yeah, everything is going wrong, right? You know, it is a sense of it going wrong. But what if you could catch yourself in that moment of chaos and then the negative thinking and say, what is something to be gratitude? Like, for instance, one time, this is years ago, I was running late to a meeting in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is a long drive, and I was running late. And I was like, can you believe this? Everything kept getting in my way and making me later and later and later. And then I got there and I was facilitating a program and I had to shift into like not my big, negative space I was in. And then I started hitting the gratitude. Thank God my gas tank was full. I didn't have to stop and be delayed further. And it just started adding up. And in time, my mindset shifted and I could see everything that story that I was building as an excuse to stay in the mire. Your cat and the Buddha. That it's have an attitude of gratitude is like a way to pull yourself out of being mired down in negative thinking because there's always something to be grateful for in front of us, and sometimes it's something you can remind yourself that it was something in the past, like, oh, remember that really good time, and
You
I'm
know,
grateful for that.
yeah, it's funny because, like, if I was going to cut my life in half, it would be just around the time of like starting to practice yoga, like very like consistently. And I think that time period, I started to even recognize that I wasn't operating from an attitude of gratitude. And um, gratitude is like a thing that we talk about all the time in the yoga world. And I feel like when I started to talk about it more, I was more present to the fact that I wasn't grateful for things and I was taking things for granted all of the
Yeah.
time in my relationships with my son, my friends, my coworkers. I mean, I was a real like ungrateful person. And I know you told me this, Margie. You told me like to if you bring gratitude in, you can flip the whole situation, and like then the whole dynamics of the situation actually changes. And when I started to do that and started to practice that, I realized, wow, like this has nothing to do with what's going on outside me. It has to do with what's going on in my brain.
Yeah, true.
And I get to control, the outcome of how I feel about what's going on.
Yeah,
I can look at things every day and say, this is bad, that's bad. But if I look at it like, you know what, like,
yeah,
whatever, like today we had to do something before we got on the podcast and we got it done. And
yeah.
if I looked at taking that time to do that without gratitude, like I look at it like, you're my dear friend. I'll do anything for you.
And you did something for me to help me out. And normally I would just take it on as myself, and you stepped up. And so I'm grateful for that, because in that moment that I was starting to get really bogged down by a situation, and it doesn't matter. I forget all the time what I've overcome, Dawn. Like, seriously, seriously, we've done some pretty big stuff. And this to have, like, I'm grateful. This is something to sustain me for a long time. Like, that is pushing me in the motion of this week. No matter what happens, I'll think back to that, excuse me, activity that I had a friend and a dear sister who said, let me help you with that.
So
I didn't have to go it alone.
I don't know if you taught me this or I just picked it up along the way, but when you're in this moment where you're not being grateful, take your hand, put it on your heart, and just close your eyes. You're frustrated, whatever you want to just give up, put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and just think to yourself, what right now can I be grateful for? And it'll come. Like the answer will come right there. And then you're good to go. Like you're absolved. You know what I mean? Like you're just completely absolved. You're ready to move on.
And if it doesn't, do it again and do it again and do it again. One of our favorite authors is it David Goggins, the Army Ranger guy who in his quote in the book,
Okay, what anybody says, I love him.
yeah,
Get
he's
this
awesome.
shit
And
together.
he talks about gratitude. So this guy is like amazing book. Army Ranger, Navy SEAL, like has done ultra marathons in his life, but he talks about taking gratitude and like you pile it on and pile it on. Like sometimes you got to reach back and pick up those things of gratitude. That's why it's always good to have a gratitude jar. I come across things in my house. I came across one the other day with little pieces of paper in it that you wrote. I was just like cleaning things out. I'm like, what the heck?
Mhm.
And he talks about like reaching in the cookie jar each time and then pulling it out so that you can pat yourself back. Can I swear? Can I say what he says? All right. Because he says you got to add up all these little pieces of gratitude because if you want to burn the motherfucker down, like we are burning the motherfucker down. You got to ignite a lot of little fires, and those are pieces of gratitude to keep you moving forward to burn the motherfucker down. And that's what we're doing. And he says it like this, like a drill sergeant. But
He
that's
says,
that's I
burn the
always
motherfucker
remember that. You got to ignite a lot of little fires if you want to burn the motherfucker down.
down.
And those little fires are picking up pieces of gratitude that have where you've come from, where you're going, where you've been, and all those things to remind yourself. Like I have a lot of days, Dawn, and you know this. I some days I don't know if I can keep going on. Come on, really? You know what I've been through. Like, come on.
Not true.
For,
That's
yeah.
just bullshit. Put your finger up your nose. It's bullshit. Remember that?
Amen, sister. All
Oh my
right.
God. All right. We hope you got something out of here. Out of this. I feel like I feel like I've been reminded of some tools that I haven't been using that I can probably use moving forward again.
Absolutely.
Have a
Right
namaste.
on.